All right, recording now.
Thank God.
Let's start. Hello, everybody. Uh, Glad to see you on my screen today. So you know, but let me tell this to my no, not mine, our listeners. The Wave Weekly is a podcast initiated by the Wave, a student club at Geetham. We are a new club on Hyderabad campus trying to create a dialogue on various issues around us. Okay, if this is being too formal, we are here just to talk. चलो इंट्रोडक्शन बस हो गया नियत.
Hello everyone. Hope you're doing well. And today we have on the speaker list Sloka Chandra, who is a workaholic. She is passionate about advertisement and copywriting. And we have Kushi, our very own basketball player, who represents, might be the only lady from GSHS who represent the women basketball team of Geetham. And we have Abhinav, who is interested in anime or even rum, maybe. Right, Abhinav?
Maybe. Sure.
A balanced
So,
answer.
and as you know, the host, me and Ali is a passionate UPSC aspirant. That unlikely guy who got rejected from Stephens, but he himself rejected Hindu and came back to Hyderabad. Maybe his love towards Hyderabad is such on high spirits that he rejected Hindu. Myself, I'm Nihit. Maybe I'm not doing anything right now, and I'm not passionate on anything except maybe watching IPL these days. So moving on to the podcast, now Ali will tell the highlights of what it is. ముందుగా ముఖ్యాంశాలు Ali.
యా షూర్. నీ గురించి ఎందుకేం చెప్పాలి గైస్, మీ అందరి కోసం నియత్ హాస్ లెఫ్ట్ బిట్స్ అండ్ జాయిన్డ్ జిఎస్హెచ్ఎస్ జస్ట్ బికాస్ ఆఫ్ హిస్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఇన్ హ్యూమానిటీస్ అండ్ సోషల్ సైన్సెస్. ఇది చాలా పెద్ద స్టెప్ ఫర్ ఎనీ ఆఫ్ అస్ టు డూ, బట్ హీ డిడ్ గెటింగ్ ఇన్
Not
టు
to join GSHS, Ali, that you are not
No,
to
I'm
join
talking
GSHS.
about your interest in humanities and social sciences and arts. Yeah, right. So, Mukyamshalak Helte, you guys have heard about the Uttar Pradesh government announcing the journalist health insurance of 5 lakhs, and it is to provide 10 lakh if in case a journalist dies due to COVID-19. They have been sympathizing this issue for long in Uttar Pradesh and announced this insurance scheme. రెండో టాపిక్ వచ్చేసి ఈరోజు కంట్రీలో చాలా రోజుల నుంచి ఫార్మ్ బిల్స్ మీద ప్రొటెస్ట్ జరుగుతున్నాయి, మెయిన్గా పంజాబ్లో. ద ప్రెసెంట్ రూలింగ్ గవర్నమెంట్ హవెవర్ హ్యాస్ పాస్ ద బిల్. నెక్స్ట్ 2020 బిగినింగ్ లో జరిగిన ఢిల్లీ రైట్స్ గురించి రీసెంట్ గా యూఏపీఏ చార్జెస్ కింద ఉమర్ ఖలీద్ అరెస్ట్ చేశారు. దాని మీద కొంచెం టచ్ చేద్దాం. देखा जाए तो बिहार elections भी है, and during these times of crisis the election commission has already announced the dates also. And next highlight would be Facebook and its policy against hate posts. And the point of concern here is users affiliated to the incumbent officers getting away with it. See, this is the trickiest point. We'll talk on it. We can talk about the Vodafone getting a huge relief with the judgment favoring the telecom giant. Then we also have the TikTok and WeChat being banned by the government of America, and the mobile software industry, the Android and Apple, disabling these apps from their respective app stores. And the last highlight, I would say, would be the American presidential debate going on these days. Yeah, these are the highlights I would say for this podcast.
So can we start with UP government announcing this 5 lakh health insurance and 10 lakh life insurance when a journalist associated or registered or accredited under the state government journalist, and any journalist who dies of COVID-19 and is from Uttar Pradesh will get a life insurance of 10 lakh, which will be awarded to their family. And of any health reasons from this year onwards, will have a 5 lakh insurance. So, అంటే ఎట్లా స్టార్ట్ చేయాలంటే టు బిగిన్ విత్
ఈ పాలసీ కూడా ఫుల్ look at the policy and life insurance provided by this UP government. It is irony that many journalists in morally harassed for doing their jobs. Yeah, so the Uttar Pradesh government announced these journalist health insurance covers, but that many journalists have been more harassed, even physically too. Like if we look at Prashant Kanodia's case, wherein he actually tweeted something silly, and it's not silly, it's satire basically on UP Babaji, the Yogi Adityanath. And he was picked up by the UP police from Delhi, and he was brought to Uttar Pradesh just to persecute him. And fortunately or by his luck, he was presented before a magistrate even before a fake encounter being circulated.
Yeah.
So if we look at how the journalists are being treated in the country, but in Uttar Pradesh alone we have seen around 63 deaths in the past decade. So it's not only to blame Adityanath, but his government has brutally charged journalists for reporting the facts. Even recently, I read a report on the wire by some journalist. I don't remember the name, but the journalist reported that the quarantine centers are serving rotten rice. That's a shame, because even in this pandemic times, if we don't empathize with the people, then what's these governments for? And the brutality shows how Uttar Pradesh government is treating its journalists. Maybe we should have a brutality insurance, wherein if any journalist is, sick of this government, they should be given medical health insurance for their psychological treatment. If we can
Yeah.
hand over this to media students like Sloka and Kushi, it would be better. ఏమంటావు శ్లోక? 5 లక్షలు సరిపోతాయి అంటావు, 10 లక్షలు ఇవ్వాలంటావా?
Arey aslo, okay fine. I'm going to be talking in English because my vocabulary in Telugu is very limited. I apologize for that, and maybe Ali and Nihit can translate for the listeners. Basically, Arey aslo UP lo journalists literally die every other day. Not die, fine. They are harassed, they are ridiculed, they are treated so terribly. Kani ippudu sudden ga COVID-19 lo they're thinking, oh, we should protect our journalists, we should give them something, we should give them insurance. And insurance తో అసలు పెద్ద ఏం పీకుతున్నారని, I mean, sorry for my language, but see, if we look at it, if they want to protect journalists, right, they should give them job security. So they should give them like reassurance that maybe they won't be persecuted for doing their jobs, because reporting truth is their job. And if the truth is that the leaders of UP are actually idiots, then I mean, I don't think it's the journalist's fault, it's the leader's fault. Maybe if he stops being an idiot, then we can
అంటే ఇప్పుడు
think about
యూపీ గవర్నమెంట్ స్టాండ్ ఒక హిపోక్రెటిక్ స్టాండ్ అంటావా? పబ్లిక్ లో ఇమేజ్ కోసమే ఇట్లా.
అవును, మరి వాళ్ళు అసలు చెప్పు.
అది కూడా లా క్రిటిసిజం తర్వాత ఇది ప్రియాంక గాంధీ 2 సెటైర్లు వేస్తే అప్పుడు ఎప్పుడో సెప్టెంబర్ 1st ఒక జర్నలిస్ట్ చచ్చిపోతే, ఎప్పుడో సెప్టెంబర్ ఆల్మోస్ట్ ద ఎండ్ ఆఫ్ సెప్టెంబర్ దే ప్రొవైడెడ్ ఎ హెల్త్ ఇన్సూరెన్స్. Lot of criticism has followed after the death of a journalist reporting the COVID situation in Uttar Pradesh.
అవును బ్రో, అప్పుడు ప్రియాంక గాంధీ అర్జ్ చేసింది కదా యూపీ గవర్నమెంట్ కి ఇలా ఇన్సూరెన్స్ ఇవ్వండి అని, బికాస్ దట్ సమ్ జర్నలిస్ట్ డైడ్. మళ్ళీ ఆమె చెప్పింది, అర్జ్ చేసింది 1st సెప్టెంబర్ అండ్ వాళ్ళు చేశారు 25th సెప్టెంబర్ ఇప్పుడు ఇది 5 lakhs for medical insurance.
మనం కౌంట్ లో తీసుకోవాలి బేసిక్. It's not.
Yeah, see, I'm not saying that it's wrong for them to provide support to journalists. Like, see, it is necessary for them to provide support to journalists, kada, because they are like another, again, the whole 4th estate thing, essential for democracy. Yeah, government should provide support for journalists who are essential workers in the times of pandemic. Yeah, but the reason behind them doing
almost
this,
equal to frontline warriors. They are reporting.
Exactly. Yeah, and that job itself is so noble. Maybe I am biased because I'm a media student, but that job itself is so noble, and that is completely justified. But the reason that they are giving it is so silly. Like, this is clearly just a stint, and they are distracting us from everything else that is going on in UP.
I kind of agree with Loka till an extent. I also think that this insurance should be given to journalists across the country and not only in UP.
ఇది చాలా మంచి బేసిక్గా రాజ్దీప్ సరదాసాయి అన్న మాటలు గుర్తొస్తాయి మాట నాకు ఇప్పుడు. తను రెడింగ్ అవార్డ్స్కి వెళ్ళాడు ఒకసారి, చీఫ్ గెస్ట్ గా కాదు, ఏదో ఒక నామినల్ గెస్ట్ గానో లేక ప్యానలిస్ట్ గా వెళ్ళాడు. సో తను వాట్ ఈ సెడ్ వాజ్ డ్యూరింగ్ దట్ ప్యానల్ టాక్ ఇస్ our artistic center has too much ego that can't be fit in a room, so we can't do such events. Journalists in Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, they don't have a solid representation, or they don't have a solid union where they can voice out their issues to the government, because hardly reporter galaki ent istaru paapam, chaala chinna jeetalu istaru. So it can't even fulfill their petrol needs also. So వాళ్ళకంటూ ఒక హెల్త్ ఇన్సూరెన్స్, ఒక తెలంగాణ స్టేట్ even before bifurcating, Andhra Pradesh has issued some housing guarantee to these journalists, I think so, if I am not wrong. సో అట్లాంటి ఇనిషియేటివ్స్ వస్తే చాలా బెటర్. కాకపోతే ఎప్పుడు ఇనిషియేటివ్స్ వస్తాయి అన్నది కూడా చాలా టైమ్లీ. వాళ్ళ ఓన్ పొలిటికల్ బెనిఫిట్ కోసం వస్తే మాత్రం అది చాలా మిస్యూజ్ చేసినట్టు. నాకు తెలిసి ఉత్తరప్రదేశ్ గవర్నమెంట్ చేస్తుంది ఏంటి అంటే ఇది పొలిటికల్ గెయిన్స్ కోసం అన్నమాట. సో నేను ఇట్లా జర్నలిస్టిక్ కవర్ ఇస్తున్నాను అన్నట్లు.
ఇప్పుడే మాట్లాడుకున్నాం కదా, నువ్వు శ్లోక అన్నది ఎట్లా అంటే, ఇప్పటి వరకు చాలా హెరాస్మెంట్ జరిగింది, చాలా వైలెన్స్ ఉండే జర్నలిస్ట్ల మీద. దాని తర్వాత రీసెంట్ గా ప్రియాంక గాంధీ when she voiced out that journalists be given this insurance after a lot of criticism, this has been brought. సో దీన్ని ఒక ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్ యాక్షన్ లాగా చూడొచ్చా? లైక్ ఇప్పటి వరకు జరిగిన అంతా ఒక ఐడియాలజీ బేస్ మీద, ఇప్పుడు జరుగుతున్నది ఎగ్జిక్యూటివ్ యాక్షన్స్ మీద.
ప్రశాంత్ కనోజియాని అరెస్ట్ చేసిన సెక్షన్ చూస్తే, ఐటీ సెక్షన్ 66A చూస్తే, అది సుప్రీం కోర్ట్ కాల్డ్ ఇట్ అన్ అన్కాన్స్టిట్యూషనల్ యాక్ట్, కట్ డౌన్ ద ట్యాక్స్ ఫ్రమ్ దట్ ఐటీ కాన్స్టిట్యూషన్. బట్ వీళ్ళు అరెస్ట్ చేసింది దేని మీద? సేమ్ అదే బేసిస్ పైన. మేబీ ఆ ఇగ్నోరెన్స్ వల్ల రావచ్చు. మేబీ ద కైండ్ ఆఫ్ access to knowledge systems that the UP government or UP police have, I seriously doubt that. Arresting someone on an unconstitutional act and prosecuting them in itself is a bigger crime.
Yeah, that too out of their jurisdiction.
Yeah, that's what. Maybe ignorance is something that we must learn from Uttar Pradesh government.
Maybe we would be more at peace if we were ignorant.
So
yeah, Ali.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, I also want to point out this. Maybe I'm generalizing, but all of us have heard this phrase, prevention is better than cure.
Yeah, we heard.
Even in this situation also, ఇన్సూరెన్స్ ఆబ్వియస్లీ అది కామన్ సెన్స్. బయట కోవిడ్ ఉంది, వాళ్ళు బయటకు వెళ్తారు, వాళ్ళు పని చేయాలి. కానీ ముందు ఇవ్వకుండా ఎవరైనా చనిపోయిన తర్వాత ఒక కాంగ్రెస్ లీడర్ అర్జ్ చేసిన తర్వాత అప్పుడు ఇది మొత్తం జరిగింది. ఎవరైనా ఏమైనా అయిన తర్వాతనే యాక్షన్ తీసుకుంటాం.
ఇప్పుడు మనం ఉత్తరప్రదేశ్ గవర్నమెంట్ ని బ్లేమ్ చేయటం ఎందుకు?
అది ఇదంతా పాలిటిక్స్
True, it is politics, but as Nihit said, by the end of the day, but as Abhinav mentioned, it should not be done after a serious incident took place. It should be done before the serious incident. Agreed, but it should not only be in UP. It should spread across the country kada.
ఏదో చేశానంటే కూడా అంటే
like as Pratap
తెలంగాణలో ఏం డెసిషన్స్ తీసుకుంటారు చెప్పు.
Sloka, like Pratap Banu Mehta mentions, we are living in a political aftermath rather than a first policy. We don't decide on policy issues. We just depend on after politics what it should be. So after some political dilemma or drama, we come to a conclusion that okay, this needs to be done, and we actually go and do that instead of having a clear cut of what policies need to be implemented. It's a good initiative. If journalists are being provided with a health cover, it is really good.
Yeah, absolutely, it is good. Yeah,
many governments,
but then life had to be lost.
What's the role of media corporates here? They are earning so much. Maybe they are in losses now, but they are earning so much. Why can't they provide this medical cover for all their employees as well, till the reach of a reporter in a village? Maybe they are not there in any village. That's a different matter altogether.
And it should have been done from the minute one only. ఇప్పుడు లైఫ్ పోయింది, అందుకే ఇది మ్యాటర్ లో వచ్చింది. అదేంటి, లైక్ దిస్ షుడ్ బికమ్ అ నార్మ్. ఇంకా
అట్లీస్ట్ ఇప్పుడు నుంచైనా సరి ఇంప్లిమెంట్ అయితే చాలు.
అట్లీస్ట్
what can I draw from this is there has been a lot of protest for anything public needs. I think the government has to be pressurized to doing things that public actually needs rather than government assuming what public might need and doing it.
If only Priyanka Gandhi was talking about the detention camps, maybe something would happen.
That won't
So-
happen anytime soon.
So this
Avva
while
telsu
talking about the
అంటే if she did, it would have been good అని.
ఈ మనం
So if
క్రిటిసిజం
we
గురించి
leave this news aside,
మాట్లాడుతున్నాం
maybe
కదా.
it should be upscaled to every state, I guess.
What near?
Yeah.
No, make
Yeah,
your
so
point.
if this is going to be upscaled in every state, that every journalist with a health insurance, with a life insurance policy, then I am totally for, not at the cost of political gains.
Exactly.
Maybe
Yeah,
I-
that's
these
that's
days
the
we
hook
know
here.
Ali, because
I
our
think
media
in this
houses are already
conversation-
polarized. So what happens? The damage has already been done. We can't wake up a dead person, right?
Yeah, but I think in this conversation we are ignoring that clause due to COVID, right? So this health insurance is for journalists who lose their lives because of COVID, but it speaks nothing of the thousands of journalists that had to die with by the hands of goons of the ruling party because of the kind of news that they reported. I think that this is just another ploy to show that they care about journalists.
Then
When
we
in
should
fact,
not only speak of journalists, Loka.
I know we should not only speak of journalists, I know, but in this context, yeah. But I think the point I'm trying to make here is that, see, we cannot look at it as the UP government is doing something good. The UP government is trying to silence journalists who think that the UP government does nothing for them. So if they act like they care, then maybe they will stop being held account. They think that they might not be held accountable for all the deaths that happen due to journalists raising their voice. I think this is honestly the entire motive behind Yogi Adityanath even passing this
It's a government initiative, ante.
government initiative. Okay.
If we move on,
Yeah, the same thing. What I was saying was, while talking about the criticism, the farmer bills strike me. దాని మీద కూడా ఇంత ప్రొటెస్ట్ అవుతుంది, బ్యాక్లాష్ ఉంది సెంట్రల్ గవర్నమెంట్ కి, మోస్ట్లీ కాన్సన్ట్రేటెడ్ ఇన్ ద పంజాబ్. అసలు ఎందుకు ఈ టైంలో
పంజాబ్ అండ్ హర్యానా బేసిక్ గా 2 స్టేట్స్ కదా మినిమం సపోర్ట్ ప్రైస్ నుంచి 80% తీసుకునేది.
అసలు ఈ ఫార్మర్ బిల్స్ ఏంటి అంటే ఎసెన్షియల్లీ 3 బిల్స్ ఉన్నాయి. ఒకటి ఎసెన్షియల్ కమోడిటీస్ అమెండ్మెంట్ యాక్ట్ అని, ఇంకోటి ఫార్మర్స్ ఎంపవర్మెంట్ అండ్ ప్రొటెక్షన్ అగ్రిమెంట్ ఆన్ ప్రైస్ అష్యూరెన్స్ అండ్ ఫార్మ్ సర్వీసెస్ బిల్ అని ఇంకోటి ఉంది. ఇవి బేసిక్ ఏం చేస్తున్నాయంటే ద నరేటివ్ ఫర్ ద బిల్ ఇస్ ఇట్స్ ఎలిమినేటింగ్ ద మిడిల్ మెన్. ఇప్పటివరకు ఏమైంది అంటే there has been a lot of debates until today talking about how farmers are and their condition is deteriorating day by day in our country. చిన్నప్పుడు తెలుగులో ఒక సామెత ఉండే, రైతు దేశానికి వెన్నుపూస అని. అది విన్నావా నిహత్?
అది వినలేదు కానీ సో ది ఎంటైర్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ థింగ్ ఇస్ who will ensure the minimum support price if you eliminate the intermediary. Like if you have that intermediate person between you and the trader, there is someone who assures that MSP, the minimum support price, will be guaranteed to the farmer.
Yeah, because if we cut out the middleman, then market prices will go down, and at the end of the day, the middleman, he will find a job somewhere else. A farmer cannot, not he, they will find a job somewhere else, but a farmer cannot find another source of livelihood. That is the entire reason of the protest, and that is the entire reason that only farmers are protesting. They are the main like the farmers is the main population that will be affected by this bill.
See, so I don't the point of the 3 new farm bills is to actually replace the not to replace anything, because APMCs, the state act, which legislation for APMCs act as an intermediary. The local mandi system, when I ever go to the Kukatpalli, ఇంతకు ముందు ఉండేది బేసిక్ గా అక్కడ తీస్తారు. ఇప్పుడు కూకట్పల్లి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు ఎట్లా ఉంటుంది అంటే, ఇఫ్ ఐఎమ్ ఎ ఫార్మర్, ఐ విల్ అండ్ ఐ విల్ సెల్.
రైతు బజార్ లాగా
ఇట్ ఈస్ యాక్చువల్లీ అన్ ఆక్షన్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్. ఆక్షన్ అది. రైతు బజారే మండి అంటే యాక్చువల్గా అది ఆక్షన్. ఎట్లా జరుగుతుంది ఆక్షన్? ద మినిమం సపోర్ట్ ప్రైస్ నుంచి స్టార్ట్ చేస్తారు.
అది గవర్నమెంట్
అంటే
ఫిక్స్
ఇప్పుడు నేను
చేస్తుంది.
ప్యాడీ అమ్ముకోవాలి, ఎంఎస్పి అనేది గవర్నమెంట్ ఫిక్స్ చేస్తుంది కాబట్టి అక్కడ నుంచి ఆప్షన్ స్టార్ట్ చేస్తారు. వన్స్ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ 35 రూపీస్ పర్ కిలో అనే యావరేజ్ అనుకున్నాం అనుకో, 35 నుంచి ఆప్షన్ స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది. బట్ ఇప్పుడు కూడా కానీ నౌ వాట్ ద గవర్నమెంట్ ఈస్ ట్రైంగ్ టు డూ ఇస్ దే ఆర్ ప్రొవైడింగ్ అన్ ఆల్టర్నేటివ్ టు ది ఏపీఎంసీస్. ఏపీఎంసీలో వచ్చిన పెద్ద లాస్ ఏంటి అంటే టాక్సేషన్ బేసిక్ గా. So farmers need to pay a tax. Changes from state to state because it's a state subject. States have their own. So percent and like Rajasthan, if I am not wrong, and it is as low as 1%. And in some states like Bihar, Kerala, APMCs at all. Majorly come from the left that it is basically the corporatization of the farm. If you want the big corporates to enter the farm industry, then the farmers will be exploited at any cost. The only interest that the government is serving today is of the industrialists, corporates, or capitalists. But if by going about the words of the minister, I don't think so it will be as bad as it seems. Even today we don't have any law for MSP. It's just a government initiative. It's just that government will declare one day that MSP for these crops is this and this, and we are going to procure these many crops.
And there is also a strong point with the APMC Act. అదేమంటే ఇప్పటి వరకు there were middlemen who supported farmers to sell their crop. ఈ సపోర్ట్లో ఏమవుతుందంటే వాళ్ళు చేసే సపోర్ట్లో they were exploiting the farmers. అంటే ఒక ఫార్మర్ దగ్గర ఒక ప్రోడక్ట్ మిడిల్ మెన్ డీల్ సెట్ చేసి
capitalizing.
ఒక ఫార్మర్ దగ్గర అతను డీల్ సెట్ చేసి ఒకరికి సెల్ చేస్తే ఆ కొన్న అతను టు చేంజ్ ఇట్స్ ఫార్మ్ అండ్ టు మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చర్ ఇన్ టు అనదర్ ప్రోడక్ట్ ఆల్ టుగెదర్ అండ్ టు సెండ్ ఇట్ టు అస్ ద కన్జ్యూమర్. మనం కన్జ్యూమ్ చేసేసరికి ఒక ప్రోడక్ట్ ప్రైస్ 50 రూపీస్ ఉంటే it is being brought at 20 to 25 rupees farmer దగ్గర. There has been process of manufacturing, process of transportation, but then there is also
no proportional return is given to the farmer.
అంటే ఎలిమినేట్ చేసేంత లాస్ కూడా జరగట్లేదు. ఇట్స్ బీయింగ్ నోటీస్డ్ పెద్ద అమౌంట్ లో జరుగుతుంది. Even when the government is
the new bill also facilitates a mediator, necessary mediator. For example, Anil Ambani or Mukesh Ambani doesn't want to get into a farm. There will come that before they used to go to a mandi, now they will go to a shop or a business, local business, and these local business will deliver it to some other big corporate. Maybe this is what going to happen. అంతేగాని ఇట్స్ నాట్ లైక్
ఎసెన్షియల్లీ ఆ పేర్లు మారుతున్నాయి, ఆ ఫామ్ అంతే ఉంది.
The supply chain will entirely get reshifted or remanaged. So basically
but it is not going to change.
Style లో తీసుకొస్తారు
అంతే.
Even if at all the MSP is not being lifted off and says that government has nothing to do with the farm sector, maybe this bill is good. Even Congress manifesto says this off, right? So even they said that if they get elected in 2019, they will create a one market system in India for farm produce. So the major concern is of the MSP. And many critics, like I read this in Hindu, it's a very interesting perspective. So if at all the governments are providing MSPs, then why private players here? Private players and farmers, you need not list MSP, because private players and farmers can have their own terms and regulations and can fix their own price, right? So why this new act then? So that's the contradiction now.
ఈ మిడిల్ మ్యాన్ తోని అసలు ప్రాబ్లం ఏంటంటే when we have auction, there are two types of auctions. మనం ఎంఎస్పి గురించి మాట్లాడుతున్నాం కదా, బట్ దెన్ దిస్ పాయింట్ హ్యాస్ టు బి నోటెడ్ దట్ గవర్నమెంట్ అనౌన్సెస్ ది మినిమం సపోర్ట్ ప్రైస్ ఫర్ ఓన్లీ 22 crops, రైట్? ద రెస్ట్
అదే కదా, ఓన్లీ చాలా తక్కువ లిమిటెడ్ క్రాప్స్.
అదే ఈ 22 crops కి కూడా ఏమైతుందంటే, వెన్ దర్ ఆర్ గ్రూప్ ఆఫ్ ట్రేడర్స్ హూ ఆర్ రెడీ టు బై దిస్ క్రాప్, ఒక రైతు బజార్లోకి వెళ్తే ద ఇష్యూ కమ్స్ వెన్ ద గుడ్ ఈజ్ అ పెరిషబుల్ గుడ్. ఇప్పుడు అందరు టమాటాలు పండించారు, టమాటాలు ఎక్కువ రోజులు ఉండవు, ఆనియన్స్ ఉండవు. ఇప్పుడు మీరు తీసుకోండి అని చెప్తే మేము ఎంఎస్పి కంటే ఎక్కువ తీసుకోము అంటారు వాళ్ళు. MSP is the minimum support price that government has fixed, but then farmers also can't wait until they negotiate the terms. They have to sell it because it is perishable. They can't keep it long. అందుకని వాళ్ళు ఇచ్చే ఏదో కొంచెమైనా తీసుకొని సర్దుకునేటట్టు పరిస్థితి అవుతుంది.
అండ్ ఇంకొక బిగ్ థింగ్ ఏంటి అంటే, ఇన్ టర్మ్స్ ఆఫ్ స్టోరింగ్ ద ప్రొడ్యూస్ యాక్చువల్లీ. సో ఈ అందరికి ఒక డౌట్ ఏంటి అంటే, the bill actually tries to change how the produce gets stored. So governments have a more say in should be safe, and chain will be balanced on how the produce are being stored. So now the government is saying that it's your wish. In exceptional cases we will intervene. So in what cases they will intervene, that we don't know. Right after passing the bill, the government cut exports of onion because our domestic prices are getting too high. A kilo in Hyderabad touched around 65 rupees.
Yeah.
So that kind of storage is also being replaced by this new bill.
Another bill, not a bill, but the Abhinav.
We should also speak about how the bill was passed in the parliament, because I've seen a few sites and a few news where a few people have called it unconstitutional. Like, it's not unconstitutional, but there was no opposition. And
like, we could look at these bills in like out of context, and we can say that they are not they're not like extreme changes, they are just incremental changes. We can think that, but the thing is, with politics, nothing can be taken out of context. Everything should be looked at like through a microscope, every single action. And if we look at how this bill was passed, it was very clearly unconstitutional. It should not have been passed. That meeting should not have happened. I think there were 3 bills that were passed that day. There were 3 bills that were passed that day, and like, if you look at it in like, these are just small acts that keep happening, right? Like the whole journalist thing, like all these bills being passed unconstitutionally, the NEP. Like, if you look at it in the long term, like in retrospect, you can see that all these incremental changes are building up to something big. Like, there are so many fascist rules now in our country, and we are just so passively looking at it, and we don't actually pay attention to how all these incremental changes are building up to something big. This is the play of the government, I feel, is that if they go slowly enough, then the country will be sleeping. They will not know how much change has happened over these past 5 years, and soon those 5 years will turn into 20 years, 40 years, and maybe the country will be just a completely new place. Maybe I'm looking too much in the long term here, and we should be focusing on the debate, but that's where my mind went when Abhinav brought up the unconstitutional
The unconstitutionality of this act. We are calling it as a bill, but it has become an act. So the unconstitutionality of this act comes in the place of the union list, state list, and the concurrent list, right, Ali? So agriculture is a subject of state list, and how can the center come? The nulls are vice chancellor, if I'm not wrong, wrote a piece actually. The nulls are vice chancellor, I guess so. Or some law expert said that if at all this bill goes to, or this act goes to the Supreme Court challenging this act, might be it gets struck down because of its nature of how the bill is placed, because agriculture is a state subject, right? So then how can center passes
Yeah, I think this should be the first
Yeah,
and
that's what I
primary
mean.
question.
is going to say that? Experts who have
Yeah, rather than calling this unconstitutional, I'd call immoral. See, we have seen all the opposition from the Rajya Sabha has walked out in protest of the bill, but the single party majority has
they haven't
unanimously
walked out
passed.
actually. They have created a ruckus.
Yeah, after that, I mean,
Yeah, when they created the ruckus, I remember sending this post from Instagram from Tatwa, yeah, to Nihit only. That post said like the opposition created ruckus and they are not behaving in the right way and all, but it did not tell why. Why did they behave that way? It just said they created ruckus, they went away. That's all.
also when Nate was talking about going to the Supreme Court and challenging this bill in the Supreme Court, I think the faith in Supreme Court,
Remains under question.
yeah,
Yeah. So it is under question, but I don't completely believe in it. But yeah, going by these statements, even today we have a judgment by the CBI court in Allahabad.
the
32, I guess so. 32 were acquitted.
okay,
Yeah. So
they were acquitted.
the,
Yeah,
actually, the judgment itself, speaks on that. They don't have any intention actually. Maybe, the witnesses don't seem to produce any kind of witness that showcase their intention. Maybe that's
yeah,
altogether another discussion. These
highlighted
pharma bills are now going to impact the Bihar elections,
yeah,
because Bihar in itself don't have any APMC, and it have been under criticism that the farmers are, the development sense of Bihar is too critical, and Nitish Kumar has faced a lot of it because he doesn't come, to any press meet like Modi. He might not have understood what's the kind of ground reality. So maybe if we look at the entire showcase of Nitish Kumar in these past 15 years and his sudden correlation with RJD and then coming back to BJP once again, showcases how tough it has been for Nitish Kumar. Maybe, many polls are suggesting now that Nitish Kumar will win once again. That, that isn't any news. But the main news comes that RJD, Lalu Prasad Yadav, will be out of the elections because he's in jail, right, for that FODA scam, serving his government. And even
Kushi,
Ram Vilas Paswan won't be contesting, I guess, because he's in ICU in some private
yeah,
hospital.
he
So
has been
with these two
hospitalized.
veterans missing in the Bihar election scene, it seems dry and
There is a
a clear
possibility.
path. And there is no question of Congress in Bihar anyway. So maybe this will be a critical election. Several state elections, Karnataka, Maharashtra. So Maharashtra, it actually, kind of won, but the quest for power made it lose. But
I think for somebody who is not very keen into who is elected, this could be as thrilling, as exciting as IPL is.
maybe
Perhaps
not.
the country is too focused on IPL to notice how undemocratic the country has become.
The Bihar election, gets some kind of attention because of the coalitions that are possible in that state. So maybe we can expect that, RJD and Congress together. That we don't know, but maybe it can be formulated over a day. So these coalitions make Bihar elections interesting. Even in that similarly without any coalition with Janata Dal, that itself strike me back then, because has actually reported has quite a good report. They have brought out a good report. Why BJP shouldn't go with Janata Dal? So maybe
I think this
BJP
could make for
followers don't read Quint.
Yeah, I think this discussion could make us another podcast. Perhaps we could move on to another highlight news, which has got almost all the attention of media, where Umar Khalid was charged under UAPA regarding the recent Delhi riots.
Okay.
Yes, I you to take some words back because these days media attention won't be on Umar Khalid or UAPA. It will be only on Riya Chakrabarti or the drugs
Deepika
probe
Padukone or
by
Sir Ali
carried
Khan.
out by the So I don't think so. Media's attention is too high on Umar Khalid or on UAPA. It is actually high. The ones who are sitting in newsrooms are high in Riya Chakrabarti.
Yes, there has been at least not as much as attention there is for Riya Chakrabarti and Kangana Ranaut. There has been at least a little focus on Umar Khalid and his arrest under UAPA in connection to Delhi riots. UAPA has always been a very ambiguous act, and its users were
Even
also
during the
questioned.
Congress times. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, since it's UAPA has become an act in 1967. I hope I'm right. Yeah, since that time, there has been so much ambiguity around this act as to its procedures and how it was written. The terminology in the act itself was termed vague, and we are seeing its usage, how it is being
By the Modi
implemented.
government.
Yeah, right.
When you're speaking about this, Ali,
Mhm.
this was one of the first times I actually went back and read about the exact definition of sedition. And as soon as I read the exact definition, the thing which clicked in my mind was this is against like our freedom of speech, dude. It is
Oh,
directly contrasting to it. It is unconstitutional till an extent. This word sedition.
you read that the word sedition is unconstitutional.
The
Uh,
yeah, the usage of like there have been arrests and the police or the law has used the word sedition. Like we have arrested someone
yeah,
based on
they call
sedition,
it
whatever.
the sedition charges.
Yeah, and it is against
Maybe the law
the
wouldn't call it, but the police can file a case under that.
The sedition charges.
See, every day Arnab Goswami accuses someone of being seditious in their speech. That's a matter of, altogether a different scene. Even if you criticize BJP of, a stupid reason,
Hmm.
they would not point out to your reason because they are reasonless people. They don't have any logic. They only use
Maybe
rhetoric. They have
maybe
to
when we
but
post this
logic.
podcast, I
we
don't
don't
know
know,
what
bro.
comments would read. I can't imagine to.
Yeah, but as Nihit was saying, I might just think it is my freedom of speech, and I might say anything. I might critique BJP government or any of the government, but I don't
Hmm.
know. I might not
See, as a
know
matter of
how
fact,
sedition.
we need to acknowledge that. As a matter of fact, we need to acknowledge that UPA government also abused this act, but NDA government, it strengthened the act by actually amending the act and also using it on students, like students who actually come from marginalized backgrounds or anywhere for that matter.
Mhm.
They actually use this law to just prevent the critique or criticism faces from these kind of people, whether be it Sudha Bharadwaj or at least if I don't know whether Umar Khalid will be will be granted
Will
bail in the next 6-7 months. Maybe remain in jail like Sudha Bharadwaj or Varvara Rao or Arjun Imam of JNU has been booked because he spoke of a fierce speech given at Shaheen Bagh and they twisted the tail. The entire police clipping, they have cut and paste some of his speeches so that he sounds seditious. And the interesting fact that he's a reading MPhil of a student. So, what the actual charge sheet of Sharnam case was? It was entirely filed on the MPhil thesis that he submitted. So that's the funnier fact
it obviously
because
is
his thesis
when
sound too extremist for the police.
For the police, that's the point to be noted. That's the point to be stressed.
For the police, it seems, yeah, I don't blame the police also because they get instructions from their superior authorities. Even that of Prashant Kanodia that we are discussing in the UP's journalism case,
Yeah.
he allegedly said that I had seen the getting their phone calls from, names like CM office, Babaji, and, these kind of people.
Seriously,
So it
I did not
somehow,
listen this.
Police are being abused, and UAPI Act is also being abused on, innocence. Or actually, these are the people who care for democracy. If at all democracy institutions are to be built stronger and better, we need to allow that critique.
Criticism is one of the pillars of democracy.
It's not about you and me. It's about the entire point of the democratic nation. Maybe, this word is being too, like in Twitter every other day. If I scroll down, this is the word that we are losing democracy. We are losing faith in this government. But it should come. It should have a better representation than on Twitter or Instagram. This is being continued till from 2014. What change we have seen? But yeah, it's not that we discourage people from voicing out their opinions on Twitter or Instagram.
But you are saying
Like
that it
that
has to
whole-
be brought up. You are saying that it has to be brought up on a
Yeah,
large
even if we
scale.
protest on roads,
Yeah.
the police brutality will come us and drop us somewhere. Maybe in Thana also sometimes. అది కాదు ప్రాబ్లం. ఇప్పుడు రోడ్ల మీద ప్రొటెస్ట్ అయితే చేయనివ్వరు, ఆన్లైన్ లో చేస్తామన్నా ఒప్పుకోరు. ఒక సిస్టమేటిక్ గా వచ్చారు బేసిక్ గా.
ఇదే ఇందాక శ్లోక చెప్పడానికి ట్రై చేసింది, లాంగ్ రన్ అని. ఎవ్రీ సింగిల్ థింగ్ ఈస్ బిల్డింగ్ అప్ టు ఇట్.
Yeah, and this whole narrative of citizens, like civilians like you and me, saying things like, "Asal, I've lost hope in this government, thinking, jargaledu, I can't help anymore." I mean, I understand that there is this kind of, exhaustion, mental exhaustion that comes from caring about so many things that are going so wrong in the country. But that whole concept of I want to give up, it's like it's so undemocratic of someone to say that, I feel. Because I mean, who is it that makes this country a democracy? You and me, we voted him into office. We made this is all our doing, and it is also in our hands to undo it. We try to act like, oh, this place is so corrupt that people's voices cannot be heard. Like, no, that is not possible. If you sway, like, there is so much of this whole buddy system, is that if you sway one politician's opinion, it will be a domino effect. Like, you can change the entire country like that. That is the same thing that happened in our college also, if you guys remember. The whole why do you think that dress code is being changed today? It's because one girl posted on Instagram and she kept calling out the
Right.
main
Yeah, I
account.
remember that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what. If at all such democratic practices exist, then there can be a change. అసలు ఇక్కడ ఉన్న ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్స్ అన్నిటిని స్పాయిల్ చేస్తున్నారు, వెదర్ బి ఇట్ కాన్స్టిట్యూషనల్లీ లీగలైజ్డ్ బాడీస్ ఆర్ ఎనీ డెమోక్రటిక్ ఇన్స్టిట్యూషన్స్ లైక్ సివిల్ బ్రూటాలిటీ. బేసిక్ గా దే ఆర్ జస్ట్ లెటింగ్ దట్ బ్రూటాలిటీ కమ్ టు యూ అండ్ మీ. సో who is ready అంటే చాలా few people who are ready to face that brutality. Maybe like someone like Prashant Bhushan or all those people who are sitting in jail now, they are the future freedom or now present freedom fighters actually, because they are fighting for something that they have vision for, and now this Modi government has entirely collapsed that vision. So they're actually, we should read about them in our history books, but in Telangana we don't even study about Telangana freedom struggle. That's the irony.
Yeah, this is
ఇప్పుడు ఏమన్నంటే leftist basic గా, if you are opposing right, it doesn't mean that you are left, right? So it should have, we should have, we should come out of that binary. So
yeah, it is not always bad.
any right wing thinker writing
నిహిత్ ఉన్నావా? మాట్లాడుతున్నావా?
యా ఇప్పుడు ఈ యుఏపిఏ యాక్ట్ చూస్తే రైట్ వింగ్ థింకర్స్ అందరూ ఏం రాస్తారు, కాంగ్రెస్ అబ్యూస్ చేసిందని రాస్తారు. అరే దట్స్ పాస్ట్ మ్యాన్, నౌ వాట్ యు ఆర్ డూయింగ్ మ్యాటర్స్ ఫర్ అస్.
అంతే
ఓకే,
కదా.
వీల్ రైట్ దట్ అబౌట్ ఇన్ అవర్ హిస్టరీ. We'll see that Congress abuses UIP Act will get represented in history. But what about now?
Don't make it wrong now అని అనేది.
Huh.
Why do you
Yeah.
cry over something that has been done when you are doing it already all over again now?
Be elected for a better government, prove that you are better.
When we criticize you, it's not right and it's not a moral point to criticize. It's not right that even you criticize somebody who has done earlier.
You're following their same footsteps kada.
So, this criticism, online hatred speech, makes me move to the next topic of ours, like this Facebook hatred policy.
Yeah, this have been in news recently.
Yeah, they said that it seems resolved, and Facebook employee quit about 3 days ago, saying that this entire it favors the incumbent basically, wherever it is, whether be it Trump, whether be it Europe Union, whether be it India, basically favors those who are in government. To get Raja Singh banned, it because his speeches against his posts against Muslims, that అప్పుడు అనిపించింది నాకు, జనాల్లో ఇంత ఇంతత్వం ఉందా ఒకళ్ళ పైన. నేను ఎప్పుడు బేసిక్ గా పోస్టులు కానీ ఇవేం చూడను, ఆ బీజేపీ పెట్టేవి ఏమీ చూడలేదు.
అంటే
చూసింది ఒక్క ఈ రాజా సింగ్ ఒక్కడిది. రాజా సింగ్ వాట్ చూస్తే అరే వీళ్ళని ఎట్లా ఎలా చేస్తున్నారు, నేను బేసిక్ క్రియేట్ చేసుకున్నా ఫేస్బుక్ డియాక్టివేట్ చేసిన వాడిని, ఆ న్యూస్ చూసి క్రియేట్ చేసుకున్నా. ఓకే ఏంటి ఈ స్పీచ్లు ఏంటి, ఈ పోస్టులు ఏంటి అని.
నేను ఇంకా చూడలేదు, చూడొచ్చంట.
ఇంకా బ్యాన్ ప్రొఫైల్ కనపడతలే ఇప్పుడు బేసిక్ గా.
బెస్ట్.
కానీ రాజా సింగ్ చెప్పాడు, ఒక వీడియో పోస్ట్ చేశాడు కదా, he does not have any account on Facebook. There are multiple persons who are his imposters and they post videos of his అనుకొని పెద్దగా పోస్ట్ చేశాడు.
సరే, the point is the hate in his videos, whether his personal account is posting it or somebody on his name is doing it, and taking that down is a responsibility kada.
Yeah, whether it is propaganda, maybe it is kind of propaganda, creating thousands of pages and just spreading hate. We saw it in IT cells of BJP. That is nonsensical argument.
Yeah,
Yes, I don't doubt that at all. That is very much can very much happen.
నువ్వు ఇందాక చెప్పినట్టే, when the ruckus was happening in the parliament, నువ్వు చూసిన పోస్ట్, it only told you that there is being ruckus created by the opposition party. There are two terms to be noticed here: opposition, ruckus. When you read it and you don't know what actually is happening there in the parliament, you take it that opposition is being very bad there.
Yeah, the
That
kind
is
of representation that gets online.
Yeah, the kind of narrative that is being built online, the miscommunication, I'd say it, only half information being a part of, I won't call it half also, it's a part of a news or information being spread.
Speaking of online, do you think that these guys should not or election commission should put a rule that politicians are not supposed to use it because it is going in a pretty wrong direction?
See, then you are curtailing the entire freedom of accessing online media for politicians. So that doesn't solve the problem here, Kushi. The
Yeah, that's a
mindsets
very
of
limited.
politicians who are using social
It
media.
is limiting. I agree that it is limiting, but don't you think that is what is probably one of the few reasons which is leading to so much of
Kushi, okay, does that mean you're saying that free speech is what is creating hate speech?
No, I'm not saying free speech is creating hate speech. I'm saying that probably if a person does a mistake through social media, let's say once or twice, they should, not use it. Not as a personal choice, but then, as a political part of it.
Petty things like that keep happening. For that we cannot create a new law. And in this particular
I would
case,
agree with.
I understand that it is a little bit more large scale than it was supposed to be. But it's I really don't believe that. I really don't agree with you, Kushi, that we should just curtail that right entirely.
No, no, no. I have a point here. Then you are placing someone who says that okay, this is hatred and this is not. Then that person also has his or her own biases, right? Maybe if you are placing someone at the authority to decide whether this is hatred or not, and then remove his curtail or his access to social media, then it would lead to certain kind of consequences in the future too. Because we can't entirely define that this is hatred, this is not, this is
No,
seditious,
no,
this
no,
is not.
but then everything's got a consequence, right? Every single
Yeah,
thing has a consequence.
that's what I'm saying. Building better democratic institutions will ensure that this won't repeat. But it's not that we curtail someone's freedom and then we can see that it's better. Like it's Modi's idea of Kashmir. Why wouldn't we provide a 4G communication? Because the news gets spread faster, and so that we'll stop the entire 4G communication there.
I
Okay, so right, as we were talking about the small and the large things, mm, I think we
We
have
can
almost
actually go into the Gita news action, right? So we have
yeah,
placed, I think, on local.
yeah, right. I was just saying that. Can we move? Can we move on to the local?
So, I have something connecting Kushi's point to our Geetam's administrative points. Actually, our
Okay, before
administration,
starting, let me introduce the local.
yeah, sure, sure.
Uh,
Yeah, news of the campus.
right. Okay. Having spoke about different things and expressing our opinions, I think it's now the time to move on to the Geetam news on our the weekly podcast, where we'll be talking about our campus and the current happenings largely. Nihit, would you
So,
like to
నాకు
start?
బేసిక్గా యా ఖుషి ఇందాక ఒక సెన్స్ లో ఏమన్నది అంటే టు స్టాప్ ఆల్ దిస్ ఫ్రింజ్ వీ కెన్ కర్టైల్ ఫ్రీడమ్ ఆఫ్ సమ్ పీపుల్ ఆర్ వీ కెన్ curtail their associations to some platforms.
Mm-hmm.
So the exact same thing happens with the many college administrations elsewhere, even in JNU, even in HCU, even at many IITs, IIMs. You know, uh, administrations don't want their students to be political on campus. They don't want to be political in the sense they don't want their students to raise concerns about how this nation is progressing, or even for the better of, say, we will praise Mr. Narendra Modi for his applauding Chinese or something like that. Even if we want to praise him or any government, we are not allowed to do so, let alone critiquing the governments, just a
Yeah.
praise. Because these campuses administrations are too fearful of students getting into politics. I don't know why. And
Yeah,
maybe
there has been a
this
strong
happens
argument that it is good when educational institutions and the academic life, no, not life exactly, but per se, the area is safe when it is apolitical.
academics of
Yeah, because if we see
yeah,
the kind of
agree.
institutions that are constantly in the news, JNU, JMI, Jadavpur, and DU, these kind of places, right? They are
AMU.
constantly in the news. Students, yeah, and these students are, there are news articles of students being killed, students being locked up, or brutally, like by victims of
Beaten up.
police brutality. That's what I mean. Like this makes parents who watch news regularly, that makes them fearful, and it creates this kind of like stigma around that college. Like I know that I tried to apply for DU, but my dad straight up said no because it's not safe. Okay, maybe that is because the kind of rape cases that happened in Delhi. But I feel like it was more about the on-campus life. It is so political. It is difficult to stay out of those kind of things. I believe that is the kind of thing. So these universities or deemed to be universities, what they do is they try to save their university's image by remaining apolitical and acting like this is like some kind of utopia for young people to grow up in. But they are not growing because their minds are limited towards just academic, what's it called? They
Even
just
if
try
you look
to,
at academic terms, Sloka, even if you look at
yeah.
academic terms, what are the top universities in India to study maybe, arts or social sciences or humanities or whatever it may be? What are the top institutions in India? Maybe
It
JNU
is
will
the
feature in
same
that.
colleges. Yeah, it is the
Yeah,
same
HCU will
colleges.
feature
DU,
in that.
JMI. Yeah.
Yeah, Aligarh Muslim University will feature in that.
Yes.
Jamia Millia will feature in that. So,
Yeah, these
it's
are the
not
top
about the academic.
colleges.
Yeah. So, I don't know why this stigma attaches, or, the middle class aspirants, maybe. This we can
Hmm.
put in a straight narrative that the middle class parents want their kids to get into these IIT model institutions where students remain largely apolitical, and even
Excel
some of the
academically, get
greatest,
placements, and get out. That's all.
yeah, even the liberal arts institutions in Sonipat, I'm not naming Ashoka, but it's their competitor, whose vice chancellor on their inauguration day says that, okay, our campus is not like GNU or Ashoka. And if this is the kind of message that a liberal arts, who actually have their caption as diversity, or so even if we say such things and the vice chancellor comes out and says such things to the parents, saying that this campus is safe, we don't promote any kind of political events. So that tells us what the story is.
The kind of action that
Do
they
you
take
think
against.
do you think this is just a fear that being political is problematic for
No,
the
no, I think there is also a lot of because these are private. We are talking about private institutions. Let's not use the word colleges. Let's not use the word universities. These are institutions, and they are private
right?
institutions that were started by men who had enough. And I'm saying men who had enough money that they wanted to invest in something to generate more money. So, like
Hmm.
perhaps this is how some institutions started out, but like because of that these men, even if they are rich and they are powerful, that means they do have some kind of affiliation with the ruling party today. I feel like that is a huge contributor to the fact that our the institutions that we study in do not have like we all know that the late president of our college, founder, I think, he was involved in politics quite a bit. He was an MLA, right? I strongly believe that that individuals' political affiliations affects the lives
Maybe
of
Sloka,
thousands of college students. That, yeah.
Let's make a correction. I think he's not an MLA. Our beloved founder or our founder is MP, I guess, member of parliament.
MP, yes, sorry, he was a member of the parliament. Uh, he was from
So,
Andhra, right?
let's
Yeah.
say that, we don't know what exactly he is, but yeah, MLA or MP, elected representative.
Yeah, he was a
Yeah,
representative.
like, support that, because, getting into politics is good, but,
It is a good thing, but
kind of
that
limiting students is not.
no, but it is so great that he is involved in politics, but it is not great that his affiliation has to affect our understanding of the world today because we are voting citizens, right? Are we not? Like a majority of the students, only first years, I think, may not be voting citizens, but after that, everybody has a right. They are stakeholders in this country's politics, and I'm not saying they, I'm saying we are stakeholders in this country's politics, and we have every single right to use the biggest social platform that we have, the college, to understand, to learn, to grow, to voice ourselves. And that is just not there in our college.
And in fact, we can be somewhat proud of our institution that, it doesn't discriminate, but at the same time, it doesn't allow us. That's a matter of concern.
Nihit, I just want to correct you right there too. You personally believe that it does not discriminate, considering yours and our joint experience in the past, like previous semester.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't discriminate, but it doesn't allow in first case itself. So,
I don't believe that it
you
does not
got the irony,
discriminate
right?
at all, and I think you shouldn't either.
You got the irony, right? The college doesn't discriminate, but it doesn't allow us in the first case.
Okay, fine. Yes, exactly. It does not allow us in the first case, and if we do, then they ask us to take a TC and leave, or they will send us to an internship for a month far away, so that
If
we
we
can
are doing
interact with our
anything wrong,
classmates.
if at all students are doing anything wrong, it's the right of the teacher to correct them instead of warning them. That's the kind of tone that needs to be set up in these universities, I guess.
Yeah,
There
it
has
should be a
been,
Not
I
guiding
think there has
voice,
been a
not a
lot of
disciplining.
yes, Loga.
Sorry. It
Continue.
should like the voice of a educator should be guiding, not disciplining. I think that is the bottom line.
So, maybe I have some hope with the kind of new leadership that is underway, because
Me too.
the
I
kind
think
of
that the new
appointment.
leaders that have been appointed are like all the new directors that came out, they are changing. We can see that they are changing things.
Even the attitude of the college, has at least altered from the previous conservative backgrounds. At least I can see that, because we are in the college for the last 2 years and this is our final year. We can see that change, or a bit, or we can smell that change actually. The sense
Yeah.
Yeah,
of
it's coming. It's not here
Being,
yet. It's coming.
yeah.
being optimistic, before leaving, we could at least see something.
అంటే ఇది
Hopefully, we
ఎట్లా
will
ఉందంటే
have.
ఈ ప్రెసిడెన్షియల్ డిబేట్ ఉంది కదా, ప్రెసిడెన్షియల్ డిబేట్ లో ఏమైంది, ట్రంప్ ఏమో ఎగ్జాజరేషన్ కింగ్ అన్నమాట. Like, he even went on to an extent that he supported a right-wing fringe group, man. So what could be worse?
Right.
Actually చూడలేదు.
So
white
Joe Biden,
supremacists కదా.
జో బైడెన్ ఎప్పుడైతే అక్యూజ్ చేస్తున్నాడు రైట్ వింగ్ ఫ్రింజ్ గ్రూప్స్ మీద, this actually he called him a clown. So I'm using Joe Biden's term. This clown went on and extended his support, saying that I stand by, like, in the kind of sense that I stand by on your side. So let's leave apart the right wing fringe groups, but the anti government or anti people is all coming from the left. He kind of shifted the narrative that Joe Biden is from the left.
Yeah, that's what happens when the power is there, and
whenever there is a
you have some
discussion on
authority.
policy, the right wing and the left wing comes in between and disturbs the entire scene.
Right.
So when this Joe Biden has a right point to accuse him, he started actually on a positive note that I agree with you, unless it comes from the anti-FIA and the leftism. So we can see how these clowns are ruling us,
And you are just using Joe Biden's words.
Yeah, Joe Biden
Right.
in its because Joe Biden has a strong build of his like he constructed himself really well. He performed in a debate like a real gentleman, because this clown actually interfered in almost every sense of both the moderator as well as the opponent.
Yeah, I get that.
క్లౌన్ అంట.
ముందు కూడా డిబేట్
Mohit-
చూస్తే అట్లా ఎవరు
Mohit is just using
no one
Joe Biden's
interfered.
words.
So మన
Yeah.
కాలేజ్ లో కూడా I want that sense of a discussion, at least a discussion, to initiate that discussion. Maybe ఎవడు interrupt చేస్తాడు, ఎవడు interfere చేస్తాడు తర్వాత. Maybe we should have much more discussion, debates among students, the administration coming up with some new ideas and proposing it to us first. So
Which brings us
ఒక కల్చర్ కనుక ఎంజాయ్ చేయాలి.
to the point, and we are here with Wave, and this Wave Weekly is a part of the Wave. I hope we have covered most of the topics we highlighted today, and your opinions వాళ్ళు చెప్పారు.
And guys,
కొంతమంది
one more point that I wanted to tell you all is the viewers or even us, because we aren't any subject experts. This is a kind of experimentation that we have
absolutely not.
We have been planning this for too long now. So మేము ఎప్పుడైతే స్టార్ట్ చేద్దాం అని అనుకున్నామో, వీఆర్ ఆల్ ఇన్ సెల్ఫ్ డౌట్ దట్ అట్లీస్ట్ మనం అసలు మాట్లాడగలుగుతామా, బికాజ్ వి ఆర్ంట్ ఎనీ సబ్జెక్ట్ ఎక్స్పర్ట్స్, ఈవెన్ టు ద మ్యాటర్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్యాక్ట్ దట్ మేము మా మా టీచర్స్ అంతా కూడా మాకు ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ లేదు, we don't have any kind of knowledge as up to them, because our faculty are some amazing people who come from IITs or
Academic
central
chefs, yeah.
universities like JNU, HCU, JNTU. So
And
we don't have any kind of experience of them, but yeah, it's just an experimentation for us guys, to voice out our opinions, our limited opinions. And if any corrections, please correct us, because we are not right at all the times. Even majority of the times we aren't right, but yeah, this is the culture we are going. We are trying to make a shift from the conservative knowledge systems that only a teacher should profess and we should listen. It's not like that, right? Yeah.
right.
So
Thank
Sloka,
you,
as a
Nate, for
person of the wave, wait, I want Sloka to actually put her views on how this podcast would be and what this podcast is.
yeah, sure. Sloka.
Actually, okay, is this going to be something that everybody hears? ఓకే, ఏం లేదు, జస్ట్ యాక్చువల్లీ నేను అసలు ఇన్వాల్వ్ లేను ఈ పాడ్కాస్ట్ ప్లానింగ్ లో. నన్ను గెస్ట్ లాగా రమ్మన్నారు అలీ అండ్ నిహిత్. సో అంటే బాగానే జరిగింది అనుకుంటా, మనం మాట్లాడుకున్నాం. కానీ నేనేమనుకున్నా అంటే పాడ్కాస్ట్ అంటే మనకేమైనా అథారిటీ ఉండాలి కదా, అంటే లేకపోతే మనకు అథారిటీ లేకపోతే ఎవరు వింటారండి, లైక్ వాట్ యూఎస్పీ డు వీ హ్యావ్. అందుకే నేనేమనుకున్నా, నా ఐడియా అసలు స్టార్టింగ్ లో ఏముంటే అంటే మన మన ఎక్స్పర్టీస్ లో ఉన్న ఏమైనా టాపిక్స్, అంటే మన క్యాంపస్ లైఫ్ లో ఇప్పుడే మాట్లాడుకున్నాం కదా. అసలు we did not take Joel sir's name, కానీ ఓకే, కట్ దిస్ అవుట్ అలీ. ఇప్పుడే మాట్లాడుకున్నాం కదా.
No, we'll keep this, that raw file exactly will go on to YouTube.
Thing is, like with these kind of people that are coming in kada, I think things are changing, and we did discuss about this, and maybe we can discuss about our own campus life, and maybe this podcast can like perhaps upgrade after things go back on campus after we graduate, and our juniors can take this up into like perhaps a college radio. Maybe instead of doing once a week, they can do it once a day, or it can escalate like that, but only if you focus on the smaller scale topics, is what I believe.
Thank you, Sloka, for sharing your detailed and thoughtful insights.
All the viewers and
But I really
listeners,
enjoyed,
kindly excuse us for the language used.
Yeah. And also, I'm not giving it just as a criticism. I'm saying I would also like to say that I really enjoyed having this conversation, because I know that we have these kind of talks every single day in our classrooms, like just on campus, just like that. But so like it's great that I think we should do this more often. I really, really enjoy doing this, talking. I talk a lot, guys. Please stop me.
Yeah. One small notice to the listeners is that kindly excuse us for the language that we have used, or maybe some misinterpretations, or maybe some misquotations, because it's kind of experimentation. But we are not shying away that we spoke everything correct or we spoke everything wrong. But we'll try to correct ourselves. This is the initiative that we have initiated, because students should correct themselves. Students should try out things. This is one of the things that we wanted to try, and seriously, we wanted to engage with the administration as much as we want to, as much as we love to, because hosting Bharat on this talk would be entirely a utopian kind of feeling for us, because
absolutely
coming from that conservative Geetam background to this entirely radical shift of hope, maybe it could certainly
we are trying it out.
And in the future podcast, we are not only going to limit ourselves to politics, or we are going to discuss literature, culture, cinema, international relations, sports, whatever that week's currents are. And we are not going also to limit the speakers only from students, but we are also if at all, if we can bring authorities or our own faculty, or any subject expert, or any public intellectual, we will try to. And Ali, please conclude this podcast.
Thank you, Nihit. Thank you, Sloka, for your thoughtful insights, and thank you, Nihit, for very explicitly stating that we are not no experts in any field, and we are yet to know
Just
many
learning.
things. Yeah, we are still learning a lot of things, and we think that even this is a part of our learning, and we came up
And
with this.
we must thank Abhinav and Kushi because Kushi is somewhere busy. She just came home and joined us, and thank you, Kushi. And Abhinav, he has put in a lot of effort to speak, but we have interrupted him as Trump did in the presidential debate. And sorry, Abhinav, for that.
No, bro, it was good. It was good. It was fun. I got enough time.
Yeah. So the final point for today's podcast is we are happy that we did it, and this is our first podcast. There have been a lot of mistakes doing this, and but then yeah, we did it. We are trying it out.
It's a great first attempt. Ante.
Yeah, we think this is a first great attempt, and we'll come better next time with many more topics and with different speaking panel, as Nate was saying. Thank you guys. Signing off. Thank you Sloka, thank you Abhinav, thank you Kushi, thank you Nihat. This is Ali signing
Thanks,
off.
Ali.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Bye.